Walk into any electronics store in 2026 and you'll swear you've stepped into a Las Vegas casino. Walls of glowing screens blasting impossible colors. Salespeople promising revolutionary processing. Hyper-realistic contrast and AI enhancements so futuristic, it sounds like it was ripped straight out of a Marvel movie. Every TV claims to be the future. Every box screams 4K, 8K, Quantum Ultimate, and every shopper walks out thinking they got the deal of a lifetime. But here's the truth. Nobody in that store will ever tell you. Most of those TVs are ticking time bombs. Some brands won't last more than 2 years. Some are built with panels that burn out faster than your phone battery. Some are so cheaply engineered, the warranty is more durable than the TV itself. And in 2026, the gap between good and garbage has never been wider. So today, we're ripping the mask off. No sponsorships, no sugarcoating, just the raw truth about which TVs deserve a spot in your living room and which ones will make you swear you'll never step foot in a Walmart, Costco, or Best Buy ever again. Let's start from the bottom, the very bottom. Because some of these brands aren't just bad, they're, how is this even legal to sell? Bad. 12. Walmart Heartbreaker. If there was an award for TVs most likely to ruin your Saturday night, this would win every single year. You see that $178 price tag on a 55-inch. You think, hey, not bad for a 55-in. You grab it, throw it in the cart, pick up a rotisserie chicken on the way out. Life feels good. Then 2 months later, the screen starts flickering like a haunted house. The backlight drops to half brightness. The Wi-Fi disconnects every 10 minutes. Then one day, boom, it simply refuses to turn on. Here's the dark secret. These TVs are built with some of the cheapest LED backlights in the industry. Many don't survive past the first year. When the panel goes, the whole TV is basically a giant paperweight because repairs cost more than buying another one. 11. Element, the disappearing act. Element is the kind of brand that looks fine on a shelf until you actually use it. This is the TV equivalent of a sugar-coated cereal. Colorful box, fun logo, empty inside. The panels are inconsistent. The color accuracy is terrible. Dark scenes look like someone smeared petroleum jelly on the screen. Motion? Imagine watching sports through a dirty aquarium. Many Element models are rebranded generic units made in rotating factories, which means parts availability is a total nightmare. If something breaks, no parts, no support, no hope. One technician put it perfectly. An Element TV is like a scratch-off ticket. Maybe you win, but statistically, you lose. 10. Westinghouse, the zombie brand. Westinghouse used to mean something back in the day. Not anymore. Today, the name is licensed out. Different factories, different components, zero consistency. You never know if you're getting last year's panel, leftover scraps, or a Frankenstein mix of rejected parts from 3 suppliers. The result? Some of the worst panel uniformity in the industry. Grays look blotchy, whites look dirty, blacks look blue. The speakers sound worse than gas station radios. These TVs struggle with HDR. They turn every HDR movie into a muddy, washed-out mess. Dark scenes unwatchable, bright scenes blown out. The OS performance? Imagine a smart TV running on a hamster wheel. Menus lag, apps freeze. Opening Netflix feels like booting Windows XP in 2026. 9. Philips, US version only. The identity crisis. Here's the biggest brand identity crisis of all time. In Europe, Philips is a respected premium TV manufacturer. OLED panels, beautiful build quality. In the US, completely different company. The Philips name is licensed to Funai, the same company behind some of the cheapest budget TVs on the market. So American shoppers walk into Costco thinking they're buying a world-class European TV, but what they're actually getting is a budget panel with mediocre brightness, inconsistent QC, and weak HDR performance. This isn't just misleading, it's consumer sabotage. One viewer explained it best. I bought a Philips thinking I was getting a BMW. Instead, I got the shell of a BMW with the engine of a lawnmower. 8. Insignia, the best buy trap. Insignia is the brand you buy when you think you're being smart with money. You walk into Best Buy. A Samsung looks great, but costs $700. A Sony is gorgeous, but costs $1,200. Then boom, Insignia, 55 inches for $249. Nice box, nice demo loop, nice promise. But here's the thing, Insignia isn't a TV brand, it's a strategy. A strategy built on the cheapest panels Best Buy can buy in bulk, rebranded under a name that sounds harmless enough to gain your trust. The problem with these ultra-budget panels? They age like dairy. One day, brightness drops, colors fade, apps freeze. By year 2, a third of them show vertical lines, the TV equivalent of a death certificate. A technician once told me, Insignia is the brand people buy twice. Once to learn the lesson, once to correct it. 7. RCA, the legacy ghost. RCA is proof that a famous name doesn't mean a thing in 2026. This once iconic American brand is now a shell, a zombie logo slapped onto the cheapest offshore manufacturing possible. The number one complaint? Panel failures. The second? No replacement parts. None. You're done. Even worse, RCA has one of the slowest software experiences in the TV world. Imagine clicking YouTube and waiting like you're dialing AOL in 1997. Motion handling is terrible. Colors wash out at even slight angles. HDR looks like SDR. And when these TVs fail, good luck finding support. 6. Toshiba. The almost good problem. Toshiba is the heartbreak story of the TV world. This brand used to dominate living rooms. Today, their TVs are manufactured through Best Buy agreements using third-party panels. Some Toshiba sets look surprisingly good, but that's the problem. They're a gamble. You never know what you're getting. Different factories, different panels, different QC, different lifespans. Two people can buy the same Toshiba TV. One gets a decent panel lasting 4 years. The other gets a Monday morning panel that burns out by year 2. And while the picture is fine, the build quality isn't. Weak backlights, flimsy frames, slow processors, OS freezes that make you question your life choices. Toshiba is like dating someone with potential, but potential doesn't pay the repair bill. 5. Vizio, the fall of a former champion. This one hurts. Vizio used to be loved, the underdog hero, the people's brand, great value without the premium tax. Those days are gone. Ever since the supply chain shifted and competition exploded, Vizio lost its edge. Build quality slipped. SmartCast became a glitch festival. Firmware updates made things worse, not better. And TCL and Hisense completely crushed Vizio in brightness, contrast, and reliability. You can still find a few decent Vizio models, but that's the problem. Few. Most 2026 Vizios have one of these issues. Dimming zones that flicker, weak HDR brightness, OS lag, app crashes, poor motion compensation, premature backlight wear. One viewer wrote, "My Vizio updated itself and somehow got worse. I don't even know how that's possible." It's because Vizio is running on past reputation, while the competition eats its lunch. 4. Samsung, the flashy overachiever. This will surprise people. Samsung isn't a bad brand, but in 2026, Samsung is the definition of inconsistent. The flagship models? Gorgeous. Top-tier QD mini LED sets, incredible brightness, killer contrast, amazing gaming support. But that's not what most people buy. Most shoppers land in the mid-range, where Samsung quietly cuts corners. Edge-lit brightness collapses in HDR scenes. Aggressive motion smoothing you can't fully turn off. Colors push too far to look flashy in stores. Software updates cause random bugs. Panel replacement costs are some of the highest in the industry. And let's not forget, Samsung refuses to support Dolby Vision. Every other major brand does except them. That alone puts Samsung below TCL, Sony, and LG for many buyers. Samsung is still good, but not at the price they're asking, and not as reliable as the brands about to dominate the top of this list. The top tier, where quality begins. We've climbed out of the bargain bin jungle and the mid-range minefield. We're entering the territory where picture quality finally starts to matter, where engineering becomes intentional, and where you're no longer gambling your paycheck on a panel that dies right after the warranty expires. These are the brands that didn't get here by accident. They earned it through real innovation, real performance, and real reliability. But each reached the top for very different reasons. 3. LG, the OLED champion that changed the entire industry. LG didn't just participate in the TV industry. They actively reinvented it. They changed everything. Before LG came along, everyone was stuck pushing LED technology to its absolute limits, and the results weren't great. Constant blooming around bright objects, weak, muddy blacks, dirty screen uniformity, marketing gimmicks pretending to be real breakthroughs. Then LG introduced OLED to the mass market, and everything changed. For the first time, regular consumers saw what was actually possible. True blacks, perfect contrast, pixel-level lighting control, cinematic color accuracy, a picture that feels like watching actual film, not a flashlight shining through plastic. The entire industry had to evolve and adapt because of what LG did. They forced innovation across the entire sector. In 2026, the LG C Series and G Series remain some of the best televisions you can buy for a serious home theater setup. WebOS is simple, clean, and intuitive, perfect for older viewers who don't want a confusing maze of menus. The new generation includes better heat management and stronger burn-in protection. But LG isn't perfect. Their mid-range LED sets are very average, budget models forgettable, and while OLED is stunning in dimly lit rooms, it's not the brightest option in a sun-filled living room. Still, LG delivers some of the best picture quality on the market, at prices far more realistic than ultra-premium brands. That's why they hold the number 3 spot. Not the most affordable, not the absolute best, but a near-perfect balance of innovation and performance. SARN 2, TCL, the value monster that nobody saw coming. 10 years ago, TCL was an absolute afterthought in the American TV market. A cheap import, a punchline. People didn't take them seriously. Today, they're one of the fastest-growing TV brands in all of America. And for genuinely good reason, TCL didn't win through marketing hype. They won with something far more important, performance per dollar. They doubled down on mini LED brightness technology, high contrast, aggressive dimming zones, huge screen sizes, low input lag, and truly competitive pricing. And the results speak for themselves. A TCL 6 series looks better than many Samsung mid-range TVs and costs hundreds of dollars less. Their 98-inch models are cheaper than some 75-inch models from competitors. In pure brightness and contrast performance, TCL punches far above its weight class. But TCL isn't flawless. Some panels vary in uniformity. Motion processing isn't absolutely perfect. Budget lines can feel sluggish. Quality control isn't quite as consistent as premium brands like Sony. Still, when you put price next to performance, TCL is completely unmatched. In 2026, they are the undisputed value king. You get nearly premium picture quality without the premium tax. That's why TCL holds the number 2 spot. Number 1, Sony, the undisputed picture quality champion of 2026. If you want the best-looking TV in the entire world, the answer is still Sony. It's not hype, it's not nostalgia, it's processing, it's real. Sony takes the same OLED panels that other manufacturers use and makes them look noticeably better. Their motion handling is unbelievably smooth. Their color accuracy is industry-leading. Their upscaling technology is the best in the world. Their tone mapping turns HDR into pure cinematic magic. You can put a Sony next to an LG or Samsung with the exact same panel, and the Sony will still look more natural, richer, more immersive. That's the power of the XR cognitive processor, the secret sauce no one else has matched. Sony isn't cheap. They're almost never the best deal. But the moment you turn on a Sony Bravia, you understand exactly where your money went. Window glass clarity, real-life color, motion so natural it feels like the actors are standing in your living room. Even technicians admit it. Sony is the one brand I trust out of the box. No calibration needed. Sony doesn't chase gimmicks. They don't spam features. They focus on the only thing that actually matters, the picture. That's why Sony holds the number 1 spot for 2026. What you should absolutely never buy in 2026, stay away from the bottom tier completely. Any TV from Element, Westinghouse, or Philips US. These televisions are built to hit a price point, not a lifespan. They cut corners everywhere, weak backlights, cheap processors, inconsistent panels, slow operating systems, almost no long-term support. They look tempting on the store shelf because they're cheap. But here's the truth. Cheap is the most expensive lesson a buyer can learn. You don't save money, you lose it twice. What you should be extremely careful with: Insignia, RCA, and Toshiba. These brands sit firmly in the danger zone. They're not complete disasters, but they're definitely not dependable either. They function until they suddenly don't. These are the TVs that lull you into false security. Good picture for a year or two, then vertical lines, dimming, color drift, unexplained reboots, lag that makes you question your sanity. If you want peace of mind, skip these brands entirely. What you can buy, but you must know the trade-offs: Vizio and Samsung. Both brands have real strengths, but they also have clear weaknesses. Vizio has fallen behind. Samsung looks fantastic in stores, but mid-range models quietly cut corners. They skip Dolby Vision support. They sometimes age poorly. These TVs can be good if you pick the right model and know exactly what you're buying. But most shoppers don't do the research. Most people just see the brand name and assume it's good, where every single dollar is worth it. This is where the real quality begins. LG, TCL, and Sony. LG gives you pure OLED magic. The best blacks, perfect contrast, cinematic colors. TCL gives you shocking performance per dollar. Brightness and contrast, rivaling TVs costing twice as much. Sony gives you the most beautiful image available on any TV in 2026. Period. If you stay in this tier, you cannot go wrong. You will be happy with your purchase. You will get years of reliable service. Where you buy matters more than ever. This is the part stores hope you never learn. Where you buy your TV can be just as important as which TV you buy. Costco, the best place for TVs because of their 2-year warranty and 90-day return window. Generous. Costco absorbs failures manufacturers don't want to admit. Maximum protection, maximum peace of mind. Best Buy. Good for high-end Sony and LG, where you get expert advice. Risky for budget picks. Insignia and Toshiba are placed strategically to look better than they are. Walmart. High margins mean higher failure rates. If you buy here, choose a real brand: Sony, LG, or TCL. Don't take chances. Amazon. Great for price drops, terrible for returns if something arrives damaged. Shipping is risky. Damage during transit is common. How to make your TV last twice as long. A TV isn't just a screen. It's a sensitive panel that ages. Here's what most buyers never do. Turn down brightness from store mode, 50–60% for home use. Avoid 24/7 news channels with static banners. Disable unnecessary motion processing. Keep ventilation clear. Run pixel refresher on OLED when prompted. Update software only when needed, not out of habit. Small habits, massive impact. A well-maintained TV lasts 8 to 12 years. A neglected one dies in 3 years. The TV industry doesn't want you to know which models fail early. They don't want you to know which brands quietly cut corners. They don't want you to know that half of today's smart TV features exist only to justify higher prices, not to improve your experience. They don't want you to know that vertical lines, dimming zones, and backlight failures are engineered to happen just after your warranty expires. But now you know. Now you're armed. Now you can walk into any store and instantly see through the marketing fog that tricks everyone else. You know the difference between real innovation and gimmicks, between lasting quality and planned obsolescence. That's your advantage. If this video saved you money, if it stopped you from buying the wrong brand, if it helped you avoid a $700 mistake, hit like, subscribe, and stick with this channel, where spending smart starts with asking better questions. Your wallet will thank you.